video is for the people who have such a hard time figuring out how not to procrastinate and are afraid of change. So let's begin. Okay, today's video is called Procrastination No More: How Uncomfortable Choices Lead to Success. Let's begin with a little bit of a story time. If you guys are new here, my name is Geraldi, and I was a procrastinator, okay? I can admit to that. So hi, I'm Geraldi. I was a procrastinator, now turned into a more disciplined, goal-achieving person. So if that's the person that you want to become, then welcome to my channel. You have found the right place. I, like I said, was such a procrastinator. I was never consistent. I was never the type of person to follow through with what I said, okay? I flaked on myself a ton. I had no self-esteem. I had no motivation, no goal, no purpose, no nothing. I felt lost in the wind, just going by. And there has so much that happened this year alone that has changed my mindset, changed my behavior, and therefore have changed my trajectory into my future, leading towards success. And how did I do this? Okay, I was the type of person that I would say, I'm gonna go to the gym 5 times out of the week and I'm gonna work out every single day for an hour. And I would shout it out to the rooftops, post it everywhere, tell everybody in my circle, and then come 3 days and I would fall off and go right back into my habits. I was never ever disciplined. I was the type of person that was just so self-reliant on everybody to make every single decision that I could ever make in my entire life, because I just could not trust myself. And so there's a lot of underlying things that happen when you are a procrastinator. It's so many things that lead you to not having any purpose, not having any direction. And this is the channel where little by little we're going to start piecing together why that is and how we can change that mindset around so you can finally achieve those goals, where you can finally have the life that you want to choose. But that starts with creating that desire for yourself. That starts with creating that urgency. It starts with you and your mindset and changing over that behavior. So it starts with having to become uncomfortable to lead yourself to success. Okay, it's uncomfortable. The change is uncomfortable. Trying to figure out yourself is uncomfortable. Putting yourself into trial and error and giving yourself grace and telling yourself it's okay that you're making these mistakes. It's okay that not everything is pitch perfect and not everything's going to work out exactly the way you want to. So you have to, first of all, before we start anything, you have to get into the mindset that it's okay what you've done in the past. It's okay any time that has passed that you weren't working on your goals, and stop beating yourself up for it. Okay, we need to start there before we even proceed. Okay, because from here on out we're going to be a changed person. From here on out we're going to make so many changes and lead ourselves to so much success that we have to begin with laying down the foundation of giving ourselves grace. Okay, and this is something I had to learn for myself. Okay, because I was that person that just dogged on myself. I hated myself. I was so obsessed with making my mindset a victim instead of a champion's mindset. And if you don't know anything about a champion's mindset, I talk about this a lot on my channel, where we are not looking at our situation or bad situations as like, oh, poor me, more of like, how can I turn this into my hero story? How can I turn my victimhood into a victory? How can I turn lead into gold? So if you guys are new here, my name is Geraldi. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Also click the notification bell so you do know when I do upload, and follow me on all my social media. I'm at Geraldi Silva. So number one thing is, what you want is right over the mountain. Okay, it's right over that mountain. What you want is right over it. But the uncomfortableness of having to look up at this mountain and know that you have to climb it, first of all, is very freaking lazy. I don't even want to do that. And then the fear of unknown. There's so much fear of not knowing what's going to happen, not knowing if there is another side of the mountain, not knowing if you're going to fall off and go free falling for the rest of your life and everything's going to turn to hell and you're going to have to pick up the like, it's so many what ifs and so much anxiety driven anxiety driven situation. But what I can tell you from a person who finally got over that fear is that what you want is right over it, okay? As soon as you let go of your past, as soon as you let go of all of these like bad habits, as soon as you let it go, what you want is right over that mountain. Once you start to climb the mountain, it's going to be right over it, okay? It's on the other side. You just have to begin. You just have to climb this mountain. Either life is just going to push you towards it and forcefully push you towards it, meaning that you're gonna come to an end where you're either really, really on the verge of being diabetic, whether it's I'm gonna die if I don't change my habits, or I am such in a bad relationship that it's literally going to drive me over the freaking edge, or I am so much in debt that I can't possibly pay this off. Like, either life is gonna forcefully feed you towards having to change, or you can start it today before it gets bad. You can start it today before it gets worse. So we want to take accountability for ourselves and say, I did this to myself. I am where I am because I led myself here. Now I'm going to lead myself towards another thing. So let go of those bad habits. Let go of constantly spending money and never having enough to pay your rent, to pay your bills, and maxing out on your credit cards. Letting go of eating those sugar cookies and all of those chips. Let it go and be uncomfortable with the fact that it's going to take a little bit of time for you, A, to get adjusted, but B, to understand that having what you want is not uncomfortable. Having what you have right now should be uncomfortable, and we'll get to that later. Change that mindset that once you start climbing the mountain, what you want is literally right over it, okay? Right over the mountain. Because once I finally let go of my habit of procrastinating and just waiting to the last freaking minute to do stuff, I started building this like channel that I wanted, and the audience and the community, and finally started going and presenting myself to my audience. I started realizing that, oh my gosh, I was holding myself back. I was the one not allowing me to lead myself to success. I was holding myself back. So what I wanted was right over the mountain. Once I got over the fear of, for example, me going live, that was the number one thing I've always wanted to do. And I did it twice. I did it twice already, okay? And I fell in love with it. I love talking to you guys, even though it's only like a couple of you guys at a time. I don't care because it's still like amazing to me that I finally freaking did it. But I wanted to go live, and so what I wanted was right over that mountain. Once I became uncomfortable with showing up in person and being like, this is going to be unedited live, anybody could watch me and I can mess up and it'll go horribly, I was like, whatever, like, it's my first time, I gotta practice, I gotta put myself out there, I gotta do it anyways. Put myself out there, and what I wanted was right over it. The community building, which is what I really, really wanted to do. I wanted to do a lot of community building. So what I wanted was right over it. What I wanted was right there. I just had to get past that uncomfortableness of showing up, okay? So change that mindset, okay? Just understand that you have to push past that uncomfortableness, the fear, the anxiety. You have to push past it so you can get right over that mountain. It literally leads right after it. I promise you. It's right after it. After you push yourself through it, what you want is right there. And it's like, once you do it, boom, okay, let's do it a couple more times, and then boom, you're starting to make progress, and then boom, you've led yourself to success, okay? Number 2 thing is procrastination is a behavior, okay? It is a discipline is a controlled behavior, and procrastination is a behavior of short-term gains and long-term consequences. So you're constantly looking for this like instant gratification. You're constantly looking for this seeking dopamine hit all the time when it comes to procrastinating, because you're getting immediate satisfaction. which is what a lot of us want. We want just immediate satisfaction. We want immediate results. We want immediate, like fast. That's why people turn to Ozempic, because they don't want to work for it. They just want the easy way route. Work smarter, not harder. And then there's other people who wait to the last minute to study and submit their paper, and they're just like, oh, whatever happens, like, and then they're on the verge of, oh shit, like, if I don't pass my classes, I'm failing, and they're gonna kick me out of school. Or with the Ozempic, like, oh shit, it turns out like a bunch of other side effects are happening, and now a new problem has arisen. Because a lot of people want to seek the quickness, the satisfaction, the immediate results, but don't stop to realize that all of this has a consequence. Those short-term gains, all of it has long-term consequences. You getting kicked out of school is horrible, okay? Because the long-term consequence will be you're gonna have to reapply to a new school, have to start all over again, and this is going to reflect on your resumes. These are going to reflect on your new applications, okay? All of this is going to affect you in the long term. Same thing with if you take Ozempic and you have all these side effects and it's affecting your body. These are going to be long-term consequences where when you're getting older, these things are going to start affecting you. You're not going to be the healthiest person around. You're going to have to be reliant on other people. You're going to have to be reliant on machines, on pills, on whatever the case. All because you didn't want to go to the gym. All because you didn't want to study. And sure, a lot of us procrastinate and nothing ever happens. Okay, there is no consequence. You end up graduating. Life is fine. But are you living the life of quality? Are you living a life of happiness? Because I look back at my life and school, and I procrastinated a shit ton. Okay, a shit ton. And when I look back at school, I'm just like, dang, like I would have wanted to at least have straight A's once in my semester. That would have been fun. That would have been cool to have in my resume, like to have a 4.0 GPA. Like how fucking cool would that be? Like I'll probably never go back to school again, and I'll never have those experiences again. And if I do, it's going to be even 10 times harder, because now I have bills to pay. Now I'm not living on my mom's. Now I have 2 kids. Like, life is just not the same that it was before. So it'll just mean that I have a new obstacle to overcome. So why do I say this? Procrastinate. I feel like we kind of just let off from the subcategory, but procrastination is a behavior, okay? It is a behavior for short-term gains and long-term consequences. When you are trying to switch yourself from a procrastinator to a more disciplined person, we always start with the behavior. What are the habits that you are watering? Because I made this analogy in my live video, if you guys didn't watch it. I made the analogy of like having 2 plants. One plant is your bad habits and one plant is your good habits. Just like a plant, there's things that it requires. It needs attention, it needs water, it needs sunlight, it needs good soil so it could grow and be the beautiful garden that it could possibly be, right? 2 gardens. So one garden is the good habits, is the garden of roses, it's the garden of all the vegetables, it's the garden of all the ingredients that you could ever possibly need to make a great salad. The other garden is a bunch of weeds and overgrown grass and just ugly looking little things that nobody ever wants to have, right? Thorns and everything, like ugly gardens. You're choosing to water the bad habits, the overgrown grass, the weeds. You're choosing to grow that garden, thus leaving behind your beautiful garden of vegetables, of things that you can, you know, as people say, have the fruits of your labor. You're growing no fruits on the bad side. There is no fruit for your labor. So whenever you need to eat, whenever you need to consume something, whenever you need something, you didn't establish a good foundation, you didn't establish a good garden, because you've always been feeding the bad habit. For example, if you're trying to save for retirement, instead of spending all this money and creating more debt, you're putting it into an ROI, you're putting it into a Roth, you're creating these savings accounts, so in the future you can quit your job at, let's say, 50. You can quit your job and just live off of the savings that you've created for yourself. That is what I mean by having two different gardens. Like, you get to have the fruits of your labor if you save all this money for your future self to enjoy your future self's like life. Or you're going to continue living the life that you always do, working until the day that you die, because you chose to forever and always take care of the weed, overgrown grass, thorned garden. Okay, we have to water the roses, we have to water the potatoes, we have to water the tomatoes, we have to water the watermelons and the lettuce. We want the beautiful garden, okay, the garden that we can eat off of. This is the foundation, this is our livelihoods, okay? When you water it and you grow and you take the time to have self-care for your beautiful garden, your life is going to turn so much more magical. My camera's already dying. No. So, let me try to get through this last portion before it dies. So, number 3, become uncomfortable with your bad choices. Beautiful. Because we become so comfortable with making the bad choices, it's time to become uncomfortable with the fact that you are making bad choices. Become uncomfortable by looking in the mirror and realizing what you've done with yourself. For me, it's putting on clothes that don't fit me, okay? The fact that I'm putting on jeans that used to fit me really, really loose is now fitting me almost perfectly / tight. That is me coming to the realization that I need to become uncomfortable with my bad choices, okay? Because the fact that I have jeans that I have for whenever I'm skinny, and now my loose fitting jeans are now becoming my regular jeans, my tight fitting jeans, the jeans that only fit me. I'm like, okay, we need to work on ourselves. We need to do something with ourselves. I need to become uncomfortable with my bad choices. I need to look at this face on, like eyes looking in the mirror, reflection looking back at me, taking responsibility, taking accountability, and I need to start tracking what I'm eating. I need to start going to the gym more often. I need to start going for a walk. These things need to happen. I need to become, I need to look like my life right in the mirror. So another example for you to become uncomfortable with your bad choices is looking at your bank account. How much debt do you have on a daily basis? Look at this on a daily basis. Okay, I'm starting to weigh myself again on a daily basis because I'm like, I need to see these pounds come off. And if I'm not looking at it every single day and keeping track of myself, I'm going to just go right back into making bad choices because I'm not taking accountability and I'm not taking responsibility. So I'm like, we're going to get this on track by looking at it in the face every single day and making a conscious decisions of what I eat throughout the day to make sure that I start losing weight so that I can get back to where I wanted to be. Getting back on track, okay? So start becoming uncomfortable with your bad choices and start slowly changing your habits to fit and to align the habits, the future, the success that you do want in the future. My camera's gonna die anytime, so we're gonna end it here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Also click the notification bell so you do know when I do upload, and follow me on all my social media. I'm at Silva. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye.